I'm the scat man. I'm the scat man.
What's up? Welcome to Covers Puck Props presented by Sports Interaction with 14-year NHL vet Carlo Colaiacovo. Big Mike, using great alliteration this morning, declares today National Triple T Taint Tickling Tuesday. Thanks, Big Mike. Darren Falk says, how about that Capo Caco and Matty Beniers combo yesterday? Just those two to get a point in versus Utah was plus 375.
What?
Yeah, that was a good one. They finally opened the markets on old Capo. How about that under? How about that over 13.5 first half team total in Detroit?
Don't even get me started on that.
Oh,
man.
shit. Oh, it was a bad one. And then they scored in the first drive. And then, yeah, I know. Hey, freeloaders, hit that like, comment, subscribe, do all that. It goes a long way. Tuesday, big slate. Games at 12:30. We got an outdoor game. We got Wrigley Field. St. Louis, Chicago. I think we're kind of starting there. It took me literally an entire day yesterday just to go over my entire December bets.
Yeah.
Like 350, 400 bets I had to input.
You animal.
Good. Oh, yeah. Data input. You animal. Good news. Puck props on the year. 28 units. But
what?
I know. Yeah.
Wow, look at us, stacking cash. Love it.
we had that giant day the other day, right? The line assist,
gave it all back on Saturday though with the Habs in Florida.
Oh, the Florida shutout.
Jakub Dobish.
And Florida didn't even get any top line scoring until the last goal last game either. So those top two lines haven't done anything. Good morning to you, Kay. Thanks everybody tuning in here on a special Tuesday. Will the Leafs show up against a shitty team? That's a really good point, and we'll get to that. We got lots of plays today. We got triple stacks. We got double stacks.
Wow.
There's a lot of stacking going on today, and a lot of big plus money. There's so much plus money stuff on the board today. Let's get right to the Winter Classic here, St. Louis, Chicago. Chicago plus 120, over under sitting at 5.5. If you don't know, this game's being played outdoors at Wrigley Field. They're a trickier one, and I always talk to you every year about it in the situations. How does it affects the game? Like, everybody gets shifts early. The ice can slow down depending on the temperature. Goalie sight lines are a big one in terms of how they see the puck. And I think that was a pretty neutral thing in terms of over under in terms of outdoor games. But the Winter Classic has been like 4-7 to the under. Sorry.
Unders.
Yeah, the under's been hitting substantially. Both teams have not scored 3 goals in it, but I wouldn't read too much into that. Right out of the gate, we're going Kyrou, Holloway, and Shen. Triple stack, 425. And
extra
it's Chicago.
Kyrou, eh?
Too many U's on the Kyrou. Usually I have editors. Today I do not have an editor. Producer Mick's like, man, that guy cannot spell.
Nice.
Thanks to you, producer Mick, working on maybe a holiday. But this is where it is with this. I don't mind stacking the extra 5-on-5 guy who is Shen, who plays power play 2, but doesn't play with Kyrou and Holloway on power play 1, because we brought it up last time. Chicago has a sneaky good penalty kill. Number 2 now over the last 30 days, but they're still kind of a crap team. They've given up 21 goals over the last 4 games.
Wow.
Neighbors was demoted off the top line. Brandon Saad will jump up there. And I think at 425, I mean, this was, who did we hit for the double? Oh, that was Buffalo and Chicago for the double triple stack. Triple stack on this one with Bedard, Hall, and Bertuzzi, 35-1.
Oh, we're back.
At that 35-1 number.
Yeah, we were on a good pace on Sunday with Buffalo and St. Louis.
Oh God, I lost so much money on that game.
I know, me too.
I went all over it, and we were on a very good pace because we had 5 check marks in the first period, and then things slowed down. That could have been I could have been. I think my message to you that game was, if we hit this, I will be doing this show without a shirt on. Yeah. And you said, yeah, me too. But like, what can you expect? Like from like a betting perspective, and not so much a betting perspective, from like a pace of play in this outdoor game, right? Like, how is it different from a regular season game in terms of prep, scout, and maybe ice
Yeah.
time?
Well, look, I've played in one outdoor game in my career, and it was in Germany when I played in the DEL in the German league, and we were the best team in the league playing against the worst team in the league. So the score, factored into that. We won 8-2 in that game, but for the first 30 minutes of that game, you're just trying to get a feel of what the game is. There was a little bit of snow flurries coming down, so ice conditions was a factor. There wasn't much physicality because guys in that setting want to enjoy the experience of that setting and just kind of like, shift into a pond hockey type of mode. So these games are tricky because you don't know how the weather is going to impact the game. You don't know what the puck is going to feel like. Is it going to be hard? Is it going to be soft? Is it going to be bouncy? Right? What conditions are the ice going to be in? Are the coaches really worried about matching lines in a game like this? So ideally, I would always trend towards the under in this game because guys probably like even just like the walk out to the rink, it's probably like a 5 to 10 minute walk to get out there. Everything's more unusual than what your normal routine of a game or of a day of a game is expected to be like. So can't imagine that anybody's going to be at the top of their game or at playing their best.
Mr. Gerg brings up a good point here. He says there's a promo, and don't put it up though. He says there's a promo for a goal in the first 10 minutes of the game, boosted to plus 115. And after what you just said, guys feeling things out, maybe the no goal first 10 is probably the better look in a game like this, right? I don't think we're finding a huge edge, and this is not like the first outdoor game that's existed, but I would probably lean towards no. And I think they'd probably get, third line, fourth line, jump over the boards, maybe one shift extra, right? Get all the legs going. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Andy Francis is taking a shot at me. If only he knew how to spell my last name right, considering he loves to chirp me as much as he does. So I'm going to give you a pass on this, Andy, because I don't know who you're referring to, which Colaiacovo you're
that one almost got me. That's a good one. I don't know.
But again, the one thing I forgot to mention too, he's chirping me about the things I said about the puck. The other thing that feels different too, depending on the conditions, is the weight and the feel of your stick, right? If it's cold outside, you're playing in a cold rink, your stick feels hard as hell. And sometimes you can't, take the shot that you would normally take with the puck feeling as, hard or soft as it does. And I know you're laughing at the stupid things that I'm saying, but because you're translating into sexy terms.
Sexy terms. I believe they call them innuendos, but yeah.
But it's
the
true,
feel's
though.
off. The feel is a little different.
The feel is off. Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Like taking like an 80-foot, I don't know, sauce pass up the middle is a little different than a regular condition too, right? Like watch the puck bounce off people's sticks, taking passes, something like that. And anyone who's not played hockey, taking a pass like at center ice from a defenseman who absolutely nukes one on your stick, very underrated skill to do. Like just absorb a pass. No, it's really difficult. No, it's really difficult.
I agree.
All right. Italians rip on each other. There you go. Happy to see everybody there in the chat getting along.
All love, Andy. Come on. all love, buddy.
All right. But we're going. So in a game with a little more variance, what do? You go for big money. And that's where we're going, stacking that second line for St. Louis, Kyrou Holloway and Shen at plus 425. Carolina, Columbus plus 190. Over under sitting at 6.5. What happened to the Carolina unders? Well, Pyotr Kochetkov has been kind of brutal since he's come back. Where's my number? He's 4-5 with a 2.64 goals against and an 8.94 save percentage. even Carolina's lack of shots on net can't help them. And they're on the road today versus a Columbus team who still is averaging over 7 total goals per game at home.
Yeah.
Their home offense is still great. That top line with Marchenko, Voronkov, and Monahan has been solid. But we're going to stack. Actually, let's go Carolina power play.
This is a good stack game, no?
It is. It is a very good stack game. But we're going Ty Smith for an assist at plus 265 for half a unit. And Ty Smith for a power play point.
Wow.
525 for half a unit. Look I put a capital M on Smith too. Like I'm 0 for 3.
You're emphasizing Smith.
Smith, yes.
Yes.
But Shane Gostisbehere out. Smith taking over PP1 duties. But he's in that vein of who are some other guys who play like only PP1 numbers? There's some like who's your buddy? Like who's your DJ buddy who doesn't play
Michael
anymore?
Delzato?
Yeah, like he was one of them, right? Like he would be like 25% of his ice time would be like PP1 because that's what he was when he was there. Ty Smith, similar situation. Last game played nearly 17 minutes time on ice, but 5 minutes and 28 seconds on power play 1. So he's getting like 33% of his time. So I might as well just go there on that spot. And Columbus, I mean, it's Columbus. They're a bottom 10 PP team. It's a great spot. And then we're going to stack
bottom 10 PK team, you mean?
Oh, yeah. A good PP team at home. And then we're going to stack the second line, the full second line, because Jack Roslovic doesn't have a point. So I can't stack the full top line. So we're going second line. Svechnikov, Natchez, and Kotkaniemi. You say is it Kotkaniemi? All right. Yes. Sure. Yes. No sexual innuendo there. Get out of here, you turd. Plus 425 for Carolina to score. And what I like is a high scoring game. And so do the books at a 6.5 point total. Where have you seen Carolina's play? Like, is Carolina still an elite team with the goaltending it's had? I mean, 20th in point percentage in December. They're playing 500 hockey over the last 30 days.
Yeah.
Are they kind of an overrated team right now?
In my eyes, they are, because I thought by losing Gensel and by losing Teravainen, there would be a drop off in their offensive statistics, right? But they've actually been a very good offensive team this year. And a lot of it has been driven by their power play success, which I believe is 3rd in the league right now. And a big part of that is because Marty Necas has taken his game to another level. This guy has, been in the MVP conversation because of, the surge in production that he's provided this year. Gostisbehere has helped too with that top unit power play and his bomb from the point. But, Carolina is one of those teams. They're just very well coached.
They got to score now. You know what I mean? Like they can't just shut down teams when they're getting nothing from Kochetkov. And their defense, let's be honest, like when you got Ty Smith back there, he's their bottom 3rd pairing guy right now. I forget who he's playing with. I think he's playing with Walker.
Is it Walker or is it what's the other guy's name? The right-handed shot defenseman. Came from Vancouver.
That's such a hockey thing. You hockey folks. I don't even think of it like that, but like you analysts and you guys that are so close to the game, that's how you refer to, and you do it all the time, Carlo. It's so funny. That left-handed shot guy, you refer to guys.
Jalen Chatfield.
Oh,
was the guy I was talking about.
But like, look at that blue line. Like it's Ty Smith and Sean Walker on the 3rd pair, Orlov and Chatfield on the 2nd, and Slavin and Burns on the top pair. Like it's kind of getting yicky there, and they've lost the advantage of the last change. So let's go there. We're going Ty Smith on the assist for half a unit, power play point half a unit, and then the Svechnikov, Kotkaniemi, and Natchez for a point.
Natchez? What did I say, Necas?
Yeah, and see that? I didn't even correct you. Like, that's how nice of a guy I am. I'm really trying to go into 2025.
I wasn't correcting you either. You were just struggling saying it. I was helping
I was struggling it for the purpose of you just to come in and save me.
Okay, sure.
Sure, he says. All right. I am a big Leafs backer today.
Really?
I am a giant Leafs backer today.
Okay. Please share.
All right. So Matthews is out. Sure. We're used to that. OEL's questionable with an illness. Sure. The Islanders won 6-3 2 weeks ago in Toronto as a plus 110 road dog. Sure. But like digging into that game, Toronto was on. And producer Mick just blew my load right there. Toronto puck line plus 175. There it is. That's okay. That's okay. I don't mind it. Producer Mick can do whatever he wants. So they lost that game, the Islanders. It was the second of a back-to-back with the win in Buffalo, like a Friday-Saturday back-to-back, which I think might be more difficult than any other back-to-back, right? Like the double weekend back-to-back, always a little more stressful. But it was also at that end of that wild schedule that saw them in 5 cities in 8 days, right? Detroit, home, at Dallas, at Buffalo, and then back home. So it was a tough spot, and I'm really not reading too much into that. They don't have to face the Islanders, who are coming off that 7-1 loss before the break, right? That wouldn't be a good spot. And they beat what? They did a home and home and split a home and home with a bad Pittsburgh team. As Andy knows in the chat, and a lot of people a lot of the sniffers out there know that the Islanders are a dog shit team. The Islanders
are 1-6 versus the Islanders, losing 5 in a row.
Yes.
And you don't care.
I don't care. I really don't.
Yeah.
The Islanders are a trash team.
Trash.
Just trash. Lord knows how they can't get up for it. I know, but I'm going -1.5. And I'm comfortable taking the Leafs at the -1.5 just because we know Patty Roy is so aggressive in his goalie pulling anyway, right? So like if you're up 2 goals, you could have 5 minutes with the empty net to go up 3 goals. I think the puck line's covered against the Islanders in 6 of their last 7 losses. And then we get to the absolute juiciest part of the slate, I think.
Ooh.
And that's Toronto versus this Islanders penalty kill. The Islanders penalty kill is ripping at 50%. Over their last 2 games, Josh? No. Over the last 30 days.
Wow.
Like that's a 12-game sample. This is an absolute dog shit penalty kill. And you're telling me Mitch Marner's $2.15 for a power play point?
What?
Boom. Yes. He was as low as like plus 160. So like Marner power play point, and that's a hat tip to our good friend Al's brother, Mike DiStefano, who's been hammering it constantly, and he'll probably be on it again tonight. On it. Plus 215. Confident play in that. And then a play at plus 625 for a guy who you told me just got called out by Berube for his play because he hasn't touched the score sheet in a while, but he's PP1 versus this penalty kill. 625 for Matthew Nyes.
Yeah, that's a juicy one right there. So I'm just trying to pull up the quote from Craig Berube. Go ahead, keep talking.
No, I'm trying to sneak a quick drink in there. The only dirt is the least penalized team. So there's Andy coming in and saying they don't take a lot of penalties.
Yeah,
that's it.
So the Isles don't take a lot of penalties?
No, the Islanders don't. Thank God, because they can only kill half of them.
Right. So apparently Craig Berube said that Matthew Nyes needs to be better with his game and he needs to be more reckless to get his mojo back. So
reckless mojo sounds like a PP point to me.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, it does actually.
Yeah. Full units on all of them. I don't care. That's how much I love the Leafs. I really wanted the Marner, Tavares, and Pacioretty stack too. I think that was over plus 250, somewhere around there. Johnny T, 310 for Johnny T is a great price. Like you could tell me any price. If Marner's 210, then everybody else I think is mispriced in this spot.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense for sure.
And I try to bring up, head over to covers. And this is one of my favorite spots at covers. Like go to the scored matchup right there. Just hit the matchup. And the PP stuff's right there in their last game. So, greasy 6-3 game, no power play. No. Oh, that was the game before. What was that? How was there 0 power play opportunities in that game?
Yeah, it's been weird to see some of these games that I've watched lately and even done where, you don't see the normal 2-3 penalties per team called in a game.
So the Islanders over their last 3 games since they've come. Oh, sorry. last 3 games, including the one Buffalo before the break, they've allowed 4 power play goals on 9 attempts.
Really?
But yeah, 0. That's 0-1 kind of really standing out versus Toronto. So hopefully not just a let them skate game. And hopefully an afternoon game with lots of eyes on it before the outdoor classic where they're like, yeah, let's get some power play action going here. Let's get a little excitement for this game. So Toronto, big power play, big going to Pittsburgh, Detroit, another game where I like goals. And we're going, Detroit minus 125, a little short favorite total, another big total, 6.5. We're going double stack. Crosby or Cal, both play line together, PP1, and Dylan Larkin and Lucas Raymond a point each at 450. And I know Andy, if you watch Andy's videos too, he was shouting that like Dylan Larkin and Lucas Raymond have like come up in price. Like they were kind of in that Kempe Kopitar area where it's like they're plus 120, but they've moved up. This is better than true odds in this spot. So I'll take both of these guys in a game where I'm expecting a lot of goals. Hopefully both teams can score 3 if Detroit can score some goals, but the goaltending has just been awful. Like Nedeljkovic played well in his last 2 starts, but over that he was 4-8 straight up with an 882 save percentage. Alex Lyon is 897 save percentage, and Detroit is tied with Buffalo for 32 points in hockey. I don't think we give Buffalo enough shit for how bad of a hockey team they are.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not fun talking about bad hockey teams, that's for sure.
But there's a ton of them, right? Like we're seeing this discrepancy between those, plus 450 for those. Yes, that is nice. It's not that bad. Rusty's, did they move him? There's a good question for Rusty, also on Power Play 1. Do we triple? If Rust was on that, I would, but I thought Rust was still on the Geno Power Play for Pittsburgh, and I'll bring that up in a second here. It is interesting because they split it up. They had like a 1A, 1B. Oh, Russ did move up. Ooh, good call.
What's he priced at?
What? So, the full line stack would be somewhere around 220, but this would probably jump it up to like 700. Someone let me know in the chat if you add Rust to the triple double stack, see what it is. Yeah, last game. Yeah. Josh's face when he talked about his stick being hard. Thank you, Magic Cat. Is plus 700 for the triple double. No, I think the 450 is good. But I think if Rust is in, now I'll take what I put down there: Crosby, Raquel, Larkin, Raymond. But if you're listening and you're putting it in now, I think the better move would be to put in Rust. I like Rust better than Raquel. Someone let me know what the Crosby, Rust, Larkin, Raymond one. I'd assume it's somewhere around 425. That's the more probable one, but it's all relative anyway to the price here because I think we're going to get a shorter price. Yes, it absolutely is Andy's favorite thing. You had Jason Spezza. Did you listen to the Jason Spezza talk?
Yeah, we played it today.
Matthew Cos talking to him. Like, what did he lead with? Yeah, Sidney Crosby's ruining it for everybody, right?
Yeah.
And Spezza's like, what are you talking about, Matt? But it is impressive to hear like what Spezza still says now that he sees him as the assistant GM.
Yeah.
How impressive is what Sidney Crosby's doing at this age? It's like one of a kind, no? Like, he was one of the first guys who implemented stringent training regimens, diet, I would think, in that era where guys were probably still hacking darts.
Yeah, and I think the thing for Crosby is that, like, the older you get, you see some sort of a decline in one's game where, maybe they have to accept a lesser role or play less. He just keeps on trucking, man. Doesn't matter how old, doesn't matter how many years. It's just he's Mr. Consistent, and not just Mr. Consistent, Mr. Productive too.
But don't they have to with that with maybe the worst bottom 9 in all of hockey?
Yeah, I mean, there's no question about that. I mean, everyone has their own opinion on Pittsburgh and what they're doing over there, and Crosby at his age being as productive as he is, you're kind of like feeling bad for him because it's like you feel like he's wasting away. I mean, every year he's a point a game player, and a guy with that, mentality and desire you want to see competing in the playoffs year after year. You just wonder if that's even a possibility in Pittsburgh.
Don't worry. They brought up Anthony Beauvillier up to the second line. So
yes.
Gino's getting paired with somebody. Yeah. Poor Gino playing with Anthony Beauvillier and Michael Bunting on that line.
Bunting's been hot though.
Sure.
He's been hot. He's got power play points in I think 3 straight games. What's his power play point prop?
I bet I could draw a line. If you gave me a map of a rink, I bet I could show you where all those goals and points came from. Probably not far away.
Yeah.
Let me know in the chat if you can, guys, what a Michael Bunting power play point is for our buddy Carlo here in what is a really good matchup in terms of goals. I like goals in this game. And speaking of goals, let's get a flat 6 minus 120 over in Philly. San Jose.
Bunting plus 500.
Interesting. I wonder, I haven't checked. I wonder what the split in their power play time is right now. How much they're giving to that top unit, because it was pretty split. San Jose, let's go. 2 bottom 10 PKs over the last 30 days. You have the Calder chase between Michkov and Celebrini, and Celebrini's absolutely on a tear right now. I don't know if he has many markets open. Some of the San Jose markets aren't open because I think one of the Lunds is out.
The Lunds.
Yes. And that's producer Mick. Producer Mick's jumping off. He's got to go do some other work. So I am producing now. Look out. Happy New Year. Treat producer Mick nicely and hit that like button there, pumpers. And Philly playing over hockey, 5-1 in their last 6 games. This is a game with no goaltending. Philly is just awful with Urson, and they're carrying 3 goalies basically, and none of them are good. When you carry 3 goalies, it means your top guy's not very good. And Askarov is coming off a loss, so then we could get, which would be awesome, a Georgiev start who has a 4 goals against average and an .867 save percentage over his last 30 days.
Yeah, that's tough.
It is tough, and I don't know. San Jose, it's 2 inconsistent teams. San Jose, we know what San Jose is, and it's funny what you get out of Torts constantly because he's just in a spot to lose. I think with that. Right? Like, you want to hear what he says, but, like, do you think Torts could be a better coach in a better situation? Or no?
I mean, look,
we're not crapping on the guy, but, like,
yeah, I have a ton of respect for the guy and the way that he coaches and the respect that he demands from his players. I mean, clearly with a better team, I think, he's a good enough coach to – he's getting great results from a somewhat average Philly team. So if he had a better team, you'd think that he'd probably, have a better record and probably do better. But a lot of it depends on, like, I think what makes Torts successful is the personalities he works with. And I think on a good team, it all depends on, what type of personalities their star players are. Because you look at Philly, they don't really have like star elite top players, but they have some really good players that they've developed within their system. I mean, you're talking about Konechny and Tippett and now Michkov that they're trying to work with, right? These are all guys that have been with Torts for a couple of years and understand, the demand of what it takes to play with him. If he just joins a team that already has stars established, I'm not sure how much of a message that he coaches with, translate with that type of player. Like, I'm just trying to think, like, okay, if you put Torts in like Toronto, like, is that something that star players in Toronto would get a better response from? It's tough to say, right?
That'd be magic for the media, though.
But I think Berube is the right
man for the job in Toronto.
Yeah, because it's like he's not extreme, but he's also not, really soft. And there's a certain, demand that he expects with the way you play. And I think that's easier to translate to today's, generation of players.
No, I certainly agree with you. Now I'm trying to figure out That's who it is. Yeah, like they've actually ran through. You're talking about Philly running their system pretty well. Like their draft picks, like Morgan Frost there, Tyson Forster, Cam York, Travis Konechny, Joel Farabee. Like those are all homegrown guys,
all
right?
homegrown guys.
And they whiffed. Then they whiffed. I was trying to find who it was. They whiffed on Nolan Patrick, who I believe was a high draft pick too. Who didn't turn out. All first round picks. Jesus, yeah, they've really kept those guys. Yeah, Jay O'Brien, Nolan Patrick, Tyson Forster,
Farabee's another guy.
Travis Sanheim, and Ivan Provorov. Like all those guys are getting minutes.
Well, Provorov, they traded him off to Columbus, but
but like all those, like Travis Sanheim still running the power play.
Yeah,
all those guys play a role. It's just they seem to all be middle six forwards, except for Konechny, who I think is a very underrated player. Yeah. Speaking of the awful Sabres, how about some Dallas stacks? So that's a good point. Dallas is the hardest team to stack. It is. Ask Andy. All they do is change their lines.
Yeah.
And since the loss of Seguin, it's really hard to pinpoint who the guys are in terms of who they're staying with. And if you want to pick one pair who are supposedly always together, you got to bet on Jason Robertson. And guess what? He's not that good. Like he's not a top 30 player in the league. So let's not. Ryan Donato, 3 goals, 3 home games versus the Blues. Not a home game. They are playing outdoors. So that's a tough one. Ben Johnson, Duchesne played very well together last game. I hit that, but I think it took a couple goals for them to get that full stack. There are some stacks. There's lots of stacks. I also tweeted out the best plus money or the power play stuff. So just taking the bottom 10 penalty kills over the last 30 days. And Carlo was writing them down. I tweeted them out. Like Matthew Nyes at 625. Alex Wenberg, 450. Philip Forsberg, 375. Tyler Bertuzzi, plus 575. Connor McMichael, plus 450. Stefan Nosen, plus 400. Ty Smith, 525. Owen Tippett, 550. All of those guys are playing PP1 versus bottom 10 penalty kills over the last 10 days.
You can even add Michael Bunting to that because I just look, Michael Bunting's on the first power play unit playing with Crosby, Raquel, and Rust.
Jesus.
And he's plus 500.
Jesus.
Yeah.
There's too many of them. There's too many bets I wanted.
Detroit hasn't been good on the power play either, right?
They're not a bottom 10. The bottom 10s that are playing are the Islanders, Philly, Minnesota, which is surprising. But I think a lot of that has to do with Philip Gustafson not being available. St. Louis, Boston, Anaheim, Columbus, and San Jose, who I might have already said. But those are some of them. Robertson will ever be the scam star. That's Andy Francis absolutely hates Jason Robertson. Wyatt Ben has hit in 3 and 4, I believe. Yes. Those are the two that stay together. Ben, it's always trying to figure out where he is. Him and Nugie. Ooh. Nugie didn't stack the other day. Detroit hasn't been good on any ice. Detroit hasn't been good on any ice surface. All right, but that's it. Under a goal in the first 10 Winter Classic, almost every recreational book is boosting the over gift their winter games. And Mims, that's what we talked about at the top. If you're looking for maybe a slight edge in a market that I don't bet it a lot, so I really don't know what the prices are, but I would assume, and we've mentioned it, it takes some time to get everybody going. I mentioned that all 4 lines kind of maybe get some time, and Carlo, right at the top of the show, if you want to go back and listen to it, touched on it very well in terms of how things slow down early in that game. And let's be honest, Carlo, hockey players are victims of schedule and repetitiveness and habitual and routine. Sorry, that was the word I was looking for. I said 72 things other than the word routine. But if there's a game that throws it all out the window, it's that game, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
12:30. Tread carefully. Billion bets, all pretty much plus money. If you come to the show, you're not getting, well, let's get old Billy Peanuts for a point at minus 135. You're like, no, let's get Billy Peanuts and everybody he plays with at plus 3,500.
Yeah.
How about the Oilers and Utah on back-to-back? I believe it's a Skinner start for Edmonton, and that means there could be goals one way. And when there's goals one way, there should be goals the other way in terms of playing catch-up for the Oilers. Jack Bratt, yes. I mean, that one is probably minus 135, minus 150. It's a great stack, but it's priced out. There you go. Cash Campbell says, have you played in the Winter Classic? No.
I have not. I've
played... talking to you. Sorry, I thought they're talking
so
to you.
I was supposed to play in the 2013 Winter Classic in Detroit with Toronto. I think they called it the Centennial game. Detroit and Toronto, but the lockout canceled the game and the shortened season, and then they postponed it to the following season, and then I ended up leaving Detroit that year. So that would have been my game, but instead I was at home watching it warm instead of seeing how cold the guys were playing on the door.
Best Winter Classic story by far. Chelios getting benched by Babs.
Yeah, it's in Detroit, yeah.
And then he came out and said that he got the trainer to fill his water bottle up with beer, and he just sat there and drank beer out of the water bottle. Did you hear that story?
I heard something like
he said it on the broadcast.
No, I know. I do remember hearing him share that. I just don't know the whole details of the story. Yes.
Do you think is that possible?
Oh, 100%, man.
Said if you said
there's no reason why somebody like that would lie about it.
No, I know that, but it seems unfathomable where he could just go. I mean, it is Chelios, right? Like, yeah, I'm sure anybody's listening.
Some guys can get away with it versus others.
Yeah, 22 years, 23 years?
What he played? I think it was more than that. 25 maybe.
Like, is he just like only behind like Gordie Howe for like games played?
Let's check.
He's got to be close. Like, it's all right. Type it in. That will be the last, and we'll be on the end. So I'll do a quick rundown here. St. Louis, Chicago, Winter Classic. We're going to stack the second line for St. Louis.
1,651 games. No, Patrick Marleau played more games than him, didn't he?
Oh, I don't know. Really?
Yeah. He played from 1984 to 2010. So 26 years he played.
Now I gotta do it. Sorry, guys. Most games played career, NHL. Let's see. It's probably going to take me to
Patrick Marleau, isn't it?
No. What the shit is that? 1779?
Yeah.
Wow.
What's Gordie Howe?
1767. The guy played when he was 50 years old, man.
I know. Well, Patrick Marleau played almost every game every season, right?
I'm not even close. Chelios is 9.
Yeah.
Guys ahead of him are Mark Recchi, Zdeno Chara, Joe Thornton, Ronnie Francis. Ronnie Francis still doesn't get enough credit for what he did. Yager 4, crazy. 1, 2. Oh, how many teams did Yager play for in his career?
Oh, 15.
9. Pittsburgh, Washington, Rangers, Philly, Dallas, Boston, Devils, Florida, Calgary. What, Calgary? I didn't.
Yeah, he had a stop in Calgary.
Chelios' sons were passing him beers from behind the bench. Yeah. Love it. Maybe that's what I'll do today.
Wow.
But that's where we are.
Big
Happy New Year to everybody. Big day. Hockey all day, stacking, double stacks, triple stacks, power play points. The only single bet was the over in the Philly-San Jose game, and that's only because they didn't have player props open for all the San Jose players because, like I said, I think it's one of the Lunds is out. So lots of moving pieces. But hey, it was a great year, bud. I appreciate everything.
I agree.
You're a hell of a gentleman. Let's get Matthew Nye's point early at 6:25. That's a big one, right?
Big one. Me like it.
All right, yes. Pumpers, pump it up. I appreciate y'all. It's been a great year. We'll see you in the new year. We're back Thursday, 10 o'clock. Nothing tomorrow for the one game off, and then back Friday as well. So appreciate everybody there. Have a great one. Thanks as always. Lead us out, pal.
Happy New Year, folks. Ciao.